Well, thank you, Tom and Jim. So I'm Jody. I'm the supervisor of interpretation here up in the Truro and Provincetown part of the park. And I want to thank Farland for inviting me to this. It's such a wonderful night, and the Wednesday and the Sunday night concerts are just so wonderful. I know, thank you. Okay. I know I see a lot of local people here, and there's a lot of good dancers out here, so I'm looking forward to seeing some of that later. So I'm just going to say a few words about the National Park Service efforts at sustainability and our partnership with Farland. So going back to the beginning of the National Park Service with the Organic Act of 1916, the mission to preserve the natural and historic objects and the wildlife, but also at the same time provide for the enjoyment of future generations, has presented a continuous challenge. And challenges are best met with community partners like Farland here at the beach. So when the National Seashore was established in 1961, it was done with the mandate to preserve traditional ways of life like hunting and fishing. If you think about it, the Wampanoag have been here over 10,000 years hunting and fishing, and Province lands, which we call this piece of land that we're in, was given its name because after the Pilgrims arrived and moved over to Plymouth, they immediately started coming back to this area for hunting and fishing. They got patents to use the land for that. So we have a long tradition here on the Cape where those ways of life are important. In the early 2000s, the park did an ethnographic report where they interviewed surfcasters and oversand users, and I have a couple of fun quotes from the report. The point of fishing is not fish, it's being there, because sometimes it's just that fishing takes you to gorgeous places. And from an oversand user, this is a traditional use. There is very little else to do here. We live out in the middle of nowhere. What else is there to do? Go to a bar? I heard a yes out there. And then there's current National Park Service initiatives towards sustainability as we continue to strive for balancing recreation and use. So this park has a green team that examines the park's energy use and aims to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. We're purchasing electric vehicles and putting out charging stations by the end of the summer. There are solar panels here at Herring Cove that are already offsetting our electric bill. We have a water bottle refilling station so that we encourage the reuse of water bottles rather than buying the plastic ones. And you'll find some of those throughout the park. And then, of course, our partnership with Farland here. I did want to mention, however, that when this bathhouse was constructed, it was done with sustainable materials. It was done with sea level rise in mind, and also over 99% of the construction project was recycled, so it was diverted from landfills. Now, when we work with Farland, there was a 2012 initiative by the National Park Service called Food in Parks to give guidance on providing healthy and sustainable options, like veggie and fruit options at meals, low-fat and dairy-free beverages. I think we can all agree that Farland has an amazing menu that goes beyond the guidelines. And definitely their sustainable and recyclable dishware I have definitely been impressed by. My personal favorite is the paper straws because they remind me of pixie sticks. Not a very healthy choice, but I love those too. And then of course the guidance also includes choosing sustainable fisheries. The idea is to choose something from the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration's Fish Watch list that are certified sustainable. So with both winter skate and Atlantic spiny dogfish are on that list. And since we know that fish are part of a healthy diet, let's think about how Cape Cod National Seashore is also striving not only to preserve our historic objects and our natural scenery, but also our humans. We have the Healthy Parks, Healthy People initiative, which is a global movement that started in Australia but was adopted by the U.S. National Park Service. And here at the Cape, we've partnered with Cape Cod Healthcare to provide programs where we're prescribing outdoor activity as if we were prescribing medicine. So anytime between June and August, you can go to the Salt Pond Visitor Center in Eastham between 8 and 11 a.m. and you can meet with a healthcare professional in the pop-up tent outside. They'll take your blood pressure and they will prescribe you some healthcare goals. They'll work with you on that. We also, throughout the summer, have ranger-guided programs throughout the entire park that include activities like long hikes, bike tours, canoeing, kayaking, snorkeling, yoga, and even surf casting. So I brought some materials with me tonight. We have the Healthy Parks, Healthy People book for the summer that I've got a few you could pick up, and then also our summer newspaper. Our program schedule is available online right now. It's not in paper format yet, but that will be coming soon. So thank you, and I'll be around for questions.